Well, good afternoon everyone from Africa. Well guys, I'm going to say good afternoon again. A very warm welcome here to South Africa, to Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands, and good morning to many of you that are sitting in different time zones around the world. But most importantly, it is afternoon time in the bush, and we are going to go on a live safari this afternoon. If this is maybe your first time with us, this is exactly what is happening as it happens. So you're going to enjoy it. If this is your many-th drive with us, always welcome and always nice to have friends back with us. It's a nice warm afternoon. We're in autumn in Africa at the moment, so we have that sort of softer sunlight that we get in autumn and winter. We've had a good morning, lots of ellies around. We just saw some here around the corner. We're going to go look for them very shortly. And I am personally very excited to be going out, and thank you for joining us. It is going to be a lot of fun. It's also a little bit of nerves, which is great. It's always nice to do something that gets you excited. That's why we go on game drives. The excitement of looking for things, the excitement of the hunt, the excitement of the find. So it's going to be a great afternoon. And I don't think I'm going to say too much. I want to get rolling, but there are big game around. We've been really, really lucky the last 10 days or so. There's been a lot of game around. So I'm really hoping for leopard, lion, elephant, all the exciting things this afternoon. And one other thing, you might not know this because maybe, as I said, it's your first time with us. This is not just live as it happens. This is also live in the sense that you can talk to us. We can be interactive about this. In fact, I'm asking you, please do, because that's what a game drive is about. It's about sharing things, moments, sightings, beautiful views, but also just thoughts and conversations. You can ask us questions. You can use the hashtag SafariLive to tweet, or questions at WildEarthTV to email. So you can either of those two mechanisms talk with us, with me specifically, with HT and the other vehicle we'll meet shortly. So you're welcome to do that. And in fact, please do, because it's nice to have a chat. Otherwise, Brian behind the camera. Brian, always nice. Will, Tara, Nikki, Alex, everyone back in the control room, making sure that all of this gets out. Essentially, make sure that you can come here. So let's not talk too much. Let's go look around and find some wildlife. As I said, some ellies close by. I think we've got a good chance of finding them. And then I've been promising this every drive the last many days, and I can tell you this from experience, from thousands of game drives, is that every single game drive, I've never done a game drive in my life that didn't have one amazing experience, one amazing thing to share, and most of the time many. So you are going to enjoy it. My name is Peter Pretorius. If I haven't said that yet, welcome on the vehicle, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to take you along as my guest. Let's go look around. Drink about 20 minutes or so ago, and headed off in this direction. Now, in theory, finding an elephant should be pretty easy because they're the biggest land mammal in the world. But even they can be tricky. I'm not even going to go down the route of how tricky it can be to find leopard, if you compare the two. But we will just see what the afternoon brings. For now, we are looking for the pachyderms. They are somewhere here. And of course, anything else that may happen. But just as I said earlier, just to sort of give you an idea of where you are at the moment, we are in southern Africa, so down towards the bottom end of the continent, in South Africa. And Sabi Sands Game Reserve, which Djuma Game Reserve and Aratuza Game Reserves are part of, is a private reserve, but part of the Greater Kruger National Park. The Greater Kruger National Park is well over 2 million hectares. That's give or take 6.5 million acres. It's, I believe, roughly the size of New Jersey, for those of you from New Jersey. So it's a massive ecological area. Large numbers of big game. I've seen personally in the past, I've seen herds of buffalo, 1,005 buffalo strong here. Elephant herds, many of them, lion, hyenas, all the big game you can imagine, and all the big animals you can dream of when you think of Africa. And then the one that I didn't mention there, maybe you picked up on it. If you didn't, the one I didn't mention yet, because Sabi Sands is renowned for it. It is one of the best, I always say perhaps the best place in the world to see leopard. Not to make it impossible for us, because it is wild, can't guarantee anything, but I do hope that we will show you a leopard today's drive and or tomorrow's drive, maybe multiple leopards. We had a drive just yesterday, we had 4 different leopards in the drive. So that is the one thing that I really hope you get to share with us. And then of course everything else that is one of the most exciting and beautiful things to do in nature, and that is a game drive in wild Africa. All I have to do now, what's all I have to do now? Come on guys, you know, what do we have to do now? I just have to find those elephants that were supposed to be just around the corner. I saw them minutes ago. But don't worry, we'll make a plan. Just here somewhere. Give an idea of what to expect maybe. As I said, I know for many of you this is your first time with us. There's also another vehicle going around, Hayden Turner. Very good friend of mine now, and a very knowledgeable, one of the nicest guys literally that I've met in my life. So you're going to have an awesome time with him as well in the vehicle. And Stefan, trails guide, got experience that most guiding gurus would be envious of, and he's going to give you a bit of an experience what it's like being on foot in the bush as well. So those are things to look forward to. And then of course there's all those surprises that could be waiting just around the next bend. One of which, or many of which, I'm hoping with the elephant. Got a few different roads here. We've got a network of a drainage line system on the left. A drainage line is just what we call essentially small riverbeds. They only flow during the rainy season when it's big storms. We get really big thunderstorms here. Not so much now, we've passed the rainy season, but those big storms, you get these flash floods afterwards, and that's what drains the land. Hence we refer to them as drainage lines. You're going to hear that term quite often on the drive, because that's often where we go into looking for things. Leopard love those areas. You're going to see now as we drive, we go from this sort of mixed bush veld, the kind of habitat we're going through. Then as we go lower down, you get bigger trees, as obviously you're getting closer to more underground water. And I'm thinking, those ellies that I thought had gone this way, maybe they've just turned a little bit and moved up this way. Plus, there's another little waterhole on that side, smaller than the big dam, but it's got cleaner water, and often the elephants like to go drink there. They come and swim and play here, but when they drink water, like us, they like to drink clean water, or the cleanest water available. So I'm hoping maybe that's what they've done. But we will know that soon enough. Interesting name for our first question. Dar 5 is asking, how long have you guys been traveling together and documenting things in the wild? Well, that's quite a difficult question, in the sense of, you know, there's quite a wide framework, I guess, to you guys. Personally, myself and Hayden, we've been doing this for many years. I guided for a lot of years, a lot of it in Djuma, which is why I know this area very well. I lived in this lodge, Voitela, and one of the other lodges for a number of years. Hayden has been all around the world. He's been to over 50 countries in the world, doing all kinds of interesting things, many of them for National Geographic. So he's a old hand at all of this. Guys, we might just keep quiet there for a second, because you see we are live now. As you know, we've mentioned it, but people don't always realize that it's truly like that. They don't always grasp that, you know, if we find something now, I'm going to be as surprised as you are. And to do that, we've got a few technical things on the vehicle. Well, it's a bit of an understatement. More than a few technical things. So sometimes you might see a little spike or a little sound that's funny, or we might just flash away for a second. Don't worry about that. That's just because we're live in the bush, in the wilderness. And to get you here, that's the gear we need. So that's all part of the excitement. Now I think I've illustrated the point I was trying to make quite well. In fact, it's a point I often bring up, and that's when I say, you know, we're such optimists. People that like wildlife have to be optimists. Have to be optimists in so many ways. You know, one, maybe the most important one, that hopefully wildlife will always be there for our great grandchildren. But in a more sort of specific now way, if we drive along through the bush, we just saw elephants, a herd of them. A few minutes later, we can't find them. That disappeared into the bush, and yet we drive along hoping to find one animal called a leopard, one of the most camouflaged or best camouflaged animals in the world, and we expect to find them. And that always, for me, there's a great sort of a happy irony in that. Here's some big animals. This is where I thought the ellies might be, but the ellies are playing a game with us at the moment. Many of you might know what this is. People quite often refer to them as water buffalo, but these are African buffalo. More specifically, Let me just get us over this side of them. More specifically, we refer to these guys as Dugger boys. And they're just relaxing here, taking it easy, enjoying the cool water. This is where I thought the elephant might be. This is quite a small little waterhole, and we are very close to the Djuma lodges at the moment. So this is a waterhole that's also viewable from the lodge, but buffalo don't care about that. They care about being cool, but relaxing. In this case, the guy looking at, he's busy chewing a cud. So he's just re-chewing some of the grass that he's eaten during the course of the day, grinding it down. Because for a big animal like this, I mean a buffalo like the guy we're looking at, he's probably about 800 plus kilograms. That's about 1,700, 1,800 pounds. And he sustains that weight and that enormous power that they have by eating grass. Just grass. A lot of the time just dry grass. So in order to do that, in order to survive from that, they need a specific digestive system, and they're a ruminant, which means he eats a lot of grass. Later on it takes time and he re-chews all that food again down to a fine pulp. But guys, I tell you what, one of the things about a game drive that I personally love is just the tranquility of it and the sort of just being in nature of it. And I'm contradicting myself because I do want to keep moving. We've only got a bit of time. Got about 2.5 hours, a little bit under left for the game drive. Of course, we've got a brilliant fireside chat later on as well, which you mustn't miss at the end of the drive. But I want to keep moving. We're going to find some ellies, hopefully. They're somewhere here. All those other things that we might find. And at the same time, you're going to meet HT now. As I said, apart from the fact that I'm very happy to call him a close friend of mine now, he's truly one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's traveled the world and seen beautiful things, and you can have a fantastic time with him. So Hayden Turner, enjoy the drive with him. I will see you back here in a bit.
Welcome everyone, welcome to Safari Live. My name's Hayden Turner and I've got William on the back here with me on camera today. Fantastic to have you on board. What an incredible experience. Broadcasting live from the African bush, from the wonderful Djuma and Arathusa game reserves here in the world famous Sabi Sands Game Reserve. I can't tell you how excited I am. Every single day we drive out, you don't know what's going to happen. We've just been driving around a little bit here, trying to get a bit of a lay of the land, but it is very hot today. 28 degrees centigrade or Celsius, about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So at this time of the day, a lot of the predators might be finding shade or resting. You really do have to look hard. As the afternoon shadows lengthen and the temperature starts to cool down, we'll start to probably see more predator activity and emergence. So between that time, we just go around and we see what we can find. And I think the most wonderful thing about this is there's no script. We don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen anytime. We've got lots of ears and eyes on the ground, so we've got a game radio that people can actually contact us, and we really try to keep our ear to the ground as much as we possibly can to find out information, to bring fantastic images and events, encounters, sightings live to you from the African bush. Wow. If I've never met you before, you probably think my accent's a little bit out of place. I'm from Australia originally, but I have an African heart, that's for sure. I think I was born in the wrong country sometimes. I was a zookeeper for many years in Australia with African mammals, and packed up and came over this part of the world. And I tell you what, it is the best thing I've ever done. And it is a great, great time to be here. Lots of predators, lots of activity. Let's get going. So this thing about a game drive is about getting out on the vehicle and just taking your time, driving around, picking up signs and tracks and different little signals from the bush. Really important that you interpret loads of information along the way, as much as you possibly can. It might be a track on the road, it might be a piece of hair, it could be some dung, it could be a broken branch or whatever. There's loads of different things and you constantly pick that up, so you build a bit of a picture. And I like to compare it to a bit of a a random night at the cinema. You don't really know what you're going to see. You buy the ticket. It's a different show every night or every day, and the actors may be the same or they might be different. But what you do is you pick up a story as the thing goes on, as the film goes on, or that it unfolds in front of our very eyes. And that's what's exciting. The anticipation of being out here and not knowing what's going to happen. And for me, knowing that we're bringing those pictures to you on Safari Live is one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life. I've worked in television for a long time, in edited television, where you'd go out and shoot the story, and the story is a great story, but then you'd go back to the edit suite, you'd cut it up and you put it all together and then do all the voiceover, etc. The difference here is that there is no script, there is no voiceover, so to speak. We are happening live, and that to me is being like reborn. I feel like I've been reborn. It's an absolutely amazing feeling. And I really want to show you them because at the moment the males are rutting, and rutting is a dominance behaviour where they try and cover males together and protect them. They can sometimes have fearsome battles with rival males, and we may see some of that today. We can't ever guarantee anything, but we'll see how we get on. And having a look for different species is to try and watch their behaviour without interruption. Try not to interrupt anything that they do. And I've just spotted a couple of males here, and this is exactly what we're talking about. We may not see any rutting behaviour. They might be just two solitary males at the moment, but I think they are showing a bit of dominance. That male just chased the other one off. You can have a look. They haven't got any females at the moment. This is a beautiful antelope, absolutely specialised. One, sometimes coined as the most elegant and most perfectly designed antelope in Africa. Sorry about that jolt. You know, we see them a lot, and I say it often, but you know, I cannot stop and look at the beauty of these animals. He's a little way off, this one, but I did see a beautiful herd down a bit further, and we will see them again and again. You cannot give these animals a cursory glance and just say, oh, there's more impala, because there's a complex social system that happens. There's a really interesting mating behaviour and courtship and reproductive behaviour that they show, and he's actually chased a male off here. There's a male over the other side, and he's going back now to potentially chase off another male, which we might get another look at around the corner here. But when they are rutting, they go into this incredible sort of vocalization. Now, the first time I came to Africa in 1992, I actually went to a house that I lived in, and I arrived at this house for the first time, and it was in the middle of the night. There was no one there to greet me. I had the keys, I had the address. I was told the pathways to go down, and I arrived very late, got a little bit lost, and turned up, and there was impalas rutting through the night. I did not know for the life of me what this sound was. It doesn't sound anything like an antelope noise. It sounds like a cross between a bear and a big cat. They're really quite incredible what they can sound like. They have fearsome battles together to try and be the most successful and dominant animal. I really do want to show you that today, because there's some really interesting things that happen within that, and the females are elegant, beautiful, very well adapted, very, very successful, and they fall into the group of hoofed animals called ruminants. And if you've never heard that term before, you probably have been in the presence of ruminants more than you think. Because if you live in a country area, or you go to the country sometimes, you may see cows or goats or sheep for that matter, and you will find that you are in the presence of a ruminant. That ruminant is a very, very well adapted animal in the sense that it's an efficient animal. It eats its food very efficiently, or digests its food very efficiently. And that means that it can regurgitate some of its food and chew it over again. It's got a several chambered stomach, very, very efficient, tiny little droppings, and very efficient digestive system. So here's another very exciting facet of Safari Live, and this is just like mind-blowing stuff. For me, getting out of the vehicle is one of the most exciting things, but you have to be with a professional trails guide. I repeat that, a professional trails guide. And do we have one of the best in the business working with us at the moment? He is an incredible guy. Steph, you're going to meet right now. I'm going to cross over to him, and wow, is he going to open your world? I'll see this now.
Oh, welcome to the Sunset Bushwalk here from Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands of South Africa. You're walking this afternoon with myself, Stefan, and Scott, who's behind the camera. We're both very experienced trails guides, and you are lucky enough to join us in the bush, mobile, on foot, and live. I mean, could it get any better than this right now? Well, we've been out for about, as you can see from the sweat that's beading on my forehead, We've been out already for about an hour. We've been scouting this area for signs of a male leopard that was seen here yesterday. We had one fresh track close to some water, not too far away from here, and we've had some direction of his tracks coming through here, but he left a game path, a prominent game path. Going to be moving in and carry on moving in this direction. It's been a really hot day, and so what Scott and I are doing is we're moving from shady patch to It's a safety device very similar to a seat belt or a car's airbag. You know, it's one of those things that you don't really want to ever have to use them, but you know, you're happy the day that it's there. Now, I also have a white armband on. This is just visual cue to any surveillance teams around that I'm allowed to be walking around here on foot. But you know, without further ado, I'm going to be making my way down these tracks. We're looking for bush tracks through this, mainly elephant moving their way through to water, rhinoceros tracks, or buffalo. Buffalo also like to make paths through the bush, and we're going to be scanning the bush very carefully. And I'm going to be making my way to a shady tree there, and from that shady tree we're going to be making our way to the next shady tree. And my hope is that at some point we can spook this leopard off of a termite mine, or see him before he sees us. So looking forward to this afternoon's bushwalk with you folks, and I'm sure it's going to be an exciting one. Alright, while we are busy scanning through the bush over here, we're going to be going back to Pete, and Pete's going to be taking on drive, and we'll keep you updated through the rest of the walk.
Well guys, welcome back, and very happy that you've met all the other guys as well now. Stefan's out there looking around, as well as Hayden Turner. So I call him HT. He'll often sort of, especially when things are happening, you know, we're busy following something, I often just refer to him as H. But we are looking around, and believe it or not, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, it's really funny. That whole load of elephant managed to give us the slip. I went in there a little bit, and we could find their tracks where they'd moved, but it's quite a thick area, quite a lot of bush. So they would have taken quite a bit of time, and we decided to rather leave them. There's a chance that we might get them this end if they've moved through. We're sort of heading in the same direction. But as I said earlier, it is quite hot. In fact, I want to actually get a hat on. It is quite hot this afternoon, and we want to check. Funny. I'm going to check a few of the waterholes, because if you check waterholes and it's hot, there's a good chance you find things. I'm going to show you some wildlife that was on my hat. We told you it's alive and wild in Africa. Lots of things here. These little guys, they're amazing. They look like twigs. So when they hide themselves, they put the back legs on a little branch, and then they lift the other end up, which when you see it, it's quite interesting. Hey, sorry guys, wrong hands. Yes, it's my first time ever that I'm showing someone a little caterpillar. I'm just going to put him back in the tree here. and we'll see you back here shortly. Okay, now that we've got the caterpillar out, right?
So still just passing our way through these little tracks, finding our afternoon sort of flow. You know, sometimes you just get on a bit of a flow with things, and you try and find out what direction you feel like going. I know that there was a beautiful herd of impala heading up towards that area, sandy patch, but they were passing through some very, very thick vegetation. So we might give them some time to get up there rather than going and waiting for them. And in the meantime, I'm going to take you down to a water point that I really like called Treehouse Dam. We often see buffalo down there and elephant drinking, and sometimes you never know, leopard, but and lion. We've seen loads of different things there, but it's all about just being there at the right time. Again, making sure that we understand that we've got a bit of knowledge now. We've got some temperature, we understand what the temperature is, and when you start to know a little bit about the behavior in the animals, you can start to create or craft your drive. Now that brings me to a good point. The whole thing about Safari Live is interacting with you right where you are. You're actually in the back of our vehicle. Absolutely fantastic. So if you want to send us an email, you can include questions at WildEarthTV or email us, tweet us at #SafariLive. So just kind of drive down this road slowly. Just always take it nice and slowly, because you just don't know what you'll see. Sometimes in this sort of grass that we can see here, you could have a line lying down flat on its side in about 30 to 40 centimeters of grass, and you wouldn't see it. Flat cat, absolutely flat out. But what you will see is a tail flick up. And that's sometimes all you need. Beautiful view across there, absolutely magic. Little sort of filing cabinet of things that you know about what to look out for. And as you learn and you go on game drive after game drive, you share these little bits of knowledge with other people, and they share them with you, and it's a constant learning experience. Every time I walk out with Steph or Pete, and you'll learn something from each other, and it's just a great thing. One of the most fantastic things about enjoying the bush together. Now, I did mention if you've got any questions for us, and that's a really great way to interact, and you can help craft the safari, you can craft the game drive with us. And I like to use that word craft because it is an interactive sort of thing that we all do together. And I would always ask, Guys, what do you want to do? Do you want to go left or right? Do you want to stop and watch this for a little bit longer? And I'll probably do that to you. So you can interact with us by tweeting or emailing us to let me know.
Younger boys, of course, at Gary Dam as well as at the Pan Gallagher.
Just listening to the Game Drive channel, folks. We've got another radio here. You may hear a little bit of information now and again, and that information will be a Game Drive channel that I've got right here. I've got two radios, lots of earpieces, lots of information coming at me. Okay guys, let's go to Steph. There could be something fantastic coming.
Hello folks, I'm whispering now. We have been incredibly. It's not easy to see, but it's that yellow spotted. That yellow spottiness that you're seeing in the shade. That's the leopard. He's lying in the deep shade there, just like we predicted. Believe me when I tell you this, it hardly ever works like this. Normally we're quite unlucky like this. But today seems to be our lucky day. Fantastic. Leopard senses are unreal, which is why I'm whispering like I am. You know, why we're not going to get closer is because he'll definitely run away if he hears us. And what we want to try and do is try and get a car in there with a camera on it so that you can go from where we are onto that cat. What we're going to do is we're going to be calling in on the radio. I think we're somewhere around the Wilson's Pan, Chele Pan Junction. When we call in Hayden, I think it would be best if we call him on Wilson's Pan, Chele Pan, the junction. Now, leopards spend most of their day sleeping, and that's what Scott and I were actually banking on. Today was a really hot day, so we picked the deepest, shadiest trees we could find over the last hour. And we basically have just been walking shady tree to shady tree. And within 20 minutes of cutting to you, I'm very, very happy at the moment. You can see his tail moving there. I know at the moment it's difficult to see, folks, but I can tell you that we are getting vehicles here so that they can take you in. Hayden or Peter, myself and Scott are standing here, basically in our shoes. You might be asking yourselves, why am I being so secretive? Why am I being so nervous? Why don't we just walk in there and go and have a look at him? No. Leopard are part of the Big Five, and the Big Five rightfully got their name from being the 5 most dangerous game animals to approach on foot. To hunt on foot is the more correct term, but they're just as dangerous to approach on foot. And the reason for this is that leopard are supreme hunters. They're also hunters of primates. Baboon do feature on leopards' diets. And although I like to believe different, I'm not too different from a baboon myself. I'd prefer not to give this leopard cause to think that we were in any way a threat to him, for two reasons. One is he might just run away, and then how would we get Hayden and Peter in here to have a look? And two, he might decide that chasing us so myself and Scott always look at trees that ourselves, if I was a leopard I'd lie inside there, and that definitely looks like a nice day bed for a leopard. Now, Donna, hello Donna, you've asked what do I have in my backpack, and I have a couple of things in my backpack, Donna. I have a water bottle, I have a first aid kit, which is actually the bulk that you're seeing is a first aid kit. I have a knife. I have a goodie bag full of goodies, compass, lighter, some thread. I also have a book, a reference book on tracks. I do hear a vehicle coming, so just going to give us a break to call this vehicle in, so excuse me if I wave my arms around. Hayden has literally just driven past us. Hayden should have just headed down the road we call Weaver's Nest. He would have gotten us. We're actually quite close to a road now.
Okay folks, this is pretty exciting. We've got communication with Steph, that he's found a leopard, and we're going to go in. I think I've driven past him. Sometimes it's very difficult to see the guys. They might be just in off the road a little bit. I've just turned around because I think I may have passed him. Keeping my eyes open. Steph and Scott, incredible team, fantastic work. A leopard, my goodness. This is what it's about. This is what Safari Life's all about, folks. See, it's just, you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Find the guys. The most important thing is we don't bomb on. Okay, I've got them. I've got them. Right, I've got them. How's that for you, V? Just for the minute, till we just get a little handle on it. See if you can see him. Now folks, we just did a bit of a handover, and what VM is zooming in on there is a leopard. And I'll give you the full structure of what happened and how we did that just then with these two incredible guys, Steph and Scott. But just sit with that picture for a second. Folks, this is why I love this so much. This is why my excitement is like brimming like a little kid. We've got two incredible guys working on the ground, Steph and Scott. Oh my gosh, sorry, I can hardly speak. We're 45 minutes in, and we've already found leopard. They have tracked that leopard from tracks that they've found way off. And these two incredible guys, and Steph is tracking in front, but Scott on the camera is still an accomplished tracker as well. He's a fantastic, and those guys have worked together so for a long time. Sorry, I can hardly get my words out. We found a leopard. I've got a spider web over the top front of the lens here, folks, so just let me get that off. We found a leopard, they've found a leopard, and they've handed it over to us. So what we would do is then track it to a point, and then on foot, it's a very threatening sort of way to come up to a leopard. They're not normally used to that. They're very used to vehicles. So we're fine to sit here for a second and just get him used to us. I think we can probably make our way in there too. I'm not sure who it is, but have a look up on that hill. This is absolutely fantastic. Steph and Scott. Wow. Incredible work. Right guys, so this is how it works. What we do now is we gently find a nice little way in, and I have to talk to you a little bit about habituation as we drive. Or runs off, or we put ourselves in a dangerous position, and that's not what we're here to do. On Safari Live. It's an incredible team of people, folks, and it just makes me really proud to be part of it. So if it's the animal that I'm thinking of, if it's the individual, I'll be even more excited because it's my favourite boy, and his name is Q, and we've been with him a couple of days, but we lost him about a night this morning. We lost him actually, and he made a kill a couple of days ago. I just have to negotiate my way through here, folks, because I'm not really sure what is under these bushes. So gently is the key to this. Now it might sound a little bit scratchy and loud, but don't worry, it sounds a lot worse than it is. Really important to know these microphones we have on the vehicle are very sensitive, and the scratching down the side of the vehicle, put it this way, you wouldn't be doing it with mum or dad's car, okay? But these purpose-built vehicles, magical four-wheel drives, short wheelbase, very maneuverable, incredible car vehicles, get us into these most remote places. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how excited I am, folks. This is just such a fantastic thing. 45 minutes in, and I've got to get up a bit closer, and he'll be absolutely fine. I can tell you, hasn't even lifted his head. I'm just going to sit here for a second. Now, all we've got at the moment is still a couple of spots, and you can just see his head there, his ear flicking. Just want to let him know that, you know, we've got voices talking, we've got the vehicle, and he's absolutely fine. I know that for a fact, but it's just respectful, and it's just giving him a bit of space. We don't bomb in, drive up really fast and sit right on top of him. We just gently edge our way in I tell you, we have been really close to these animals and they're so fine with us. So I really want to establish that with everyone early in the piece. A very important thing that our ethics and morals and code of conduct is the highest possible when it comes to viewing these animals and bringing you these pictures live from Africa. Oh boy, my heart rate is up around 200 at the moment. And for a bloke my age, that's high. Oh goodness me, this is sensational. Right, let's go on in and have a little look and see who this is. Now, there's an interesting thing here, folks. We've got a few individuals, we've got a lot of leopards here at the moment, and it's probably an unusual situation. But leopards that, a high density of leopards right in this very spot, and there's a story behind that. We're going to talk more about that around the fire tonight. I just want to get in here now and see if it's my boy. That's a bit naughty, I shouldn't call him my boy, but I think it is. So it's really hard to see. It's very hard to see, and I don't want to push any further. He's got his head behind some grass, and I've also got a branch right in the way there for you, VM. You might just get his face in there. Look at that beautiful cat. Pesky flies. Now, if I can see above his left eye, I can tell you what individual it is. He's got a pound sign, like a British pound sign above his left eye, and he's got these incredible markings down the spine, the top of his back, right on his spinal column, these markings near the base of his tail that look equilateral sort of shapes that parallel. Oh, goodness me, I can't tell you how excited I am. Okay, folks, what we're going to do, I need to calm down a little bit. I need to calm down a little bit because I do get rather excited when I come across leopard, like we all do. I want to thank Stephen Scott again. And I also just want to get a bit of an ID on him. And while we're doing that, he's not going anywhere, I can assure you. I will stick with him for you. We will stick with him. This is live on Safari Live, coming to you from South Africa. We're going to cross to Pete. I'm sure he's got something fantastic with him. And we'll come back and see more of this beautiful cat. Welcome to Safari Live.
Well, guys, welcome back this side. Well, I'm just happy. We found a leopard already, and that's obviously fantastic. HU, we're very happy. We don't know who it is yet. We know some of these leopards intimately in this reserve, so looking forward to being able to see exactly who it is. And I promise you, because luckily you can still see a little one there if you have a close look. But we just had a whole load of elephants standing right next to us. So we're just going to show you quickly so that you don't think I'm just imagining elephants out here this afternoon. I was having a proper laugh about it because while I was waiting with these guys and while you were sitting with Hayden, and then I'm just happy as well. You know, game drives, everyone is unique. As I said, we had game drives in the last week that we've, sort of almost 2 weeks that we've been here now. Actually myself, the team has been here longer. We had a couple of drives where we had like 4 different leopards in one drive. And anything can happen. But of course, today we want to make sure that you see something nice. And at the start of drive, we didn't have anything specific in mind yet. So I'm just very happy that we've got a leopard. I'm very happy that we've got a lovely breeding herd of elephant. You'll see just now, the matriarch is quite a big female. The matriarch is like the leader of the group, the female lead cow. And we're gonna just pull it there a little bit. Sorry guys, there we go. There's a little one there, and I think it's actually her calf. Here we go, one of the teenagers having a look. It's always difficult with elephant to decide where to look. Ah, look at this. Hello youngster. Now that's great. The fact that one of the young ones is happy to give us a little sort of a mock investigation, a little head shake, shows us the herd is relaxed. There's no tension. We're going to stay with these Ellies, spend a bit of time with them, and try and show you that baby. In fact, 2 babies just now. was saying just now, we're very happy to find these ellies. We're going to spend a bit of time with them. And for the next few minutes we can really just sit here and see what they get up to. We're going to be welcoming back many of our co-safari goers just now, and there's at least 2, but I think there's 3 tiny young calves in this group. I'll do my best to show all of them to you. That's one of them. Oh, beautiful. He's got quite a spectacular cow with him. His mother is a big female. Hello Heidi, nice to hear from you again. So I'm just trying to see, there's a couple of bulls here as well. There might actually be more elephant here than I thought. I thought it's a small breeding herd, but it might be a bigger one. Heidi, you were just wondering what's the average weight of a baby elephant at birth? I know this is something I've read this in many different books and versions over time. So the average weight is normally given as about 100 kilograms. That's about 200 pounds, 220 pounds if you want to translate exactly. But I'm sure it varies quite a bit as well. It will depend on the size of the mother, the size of the father. So I think to be safe, let's say 60 to 120 kilograms. That would be 150 to 300, not quite. Let's say 150 to 250 pounds. Which I've said before, it's very big, but it's not that big if you compare it to a human baby, for instance, compared to average size mother. And just like elephants, humans can also vary quite a bit in size. Now, if you can get one elephant cow that might be 5 tons, and you get another female that's maybe only 2 tons. Now, you can only see what we're looking at now, but that's very cute in itself. That youngster is busy rubbing it against the tree there, but seconds before the young one did it, there was an adult just further to the left, which you couldn't see, that had a little, exactly the same rub in the same way against the bigger tree. And I'm almost certain the young one was literally looking at that and then mimicking it afterwards. Now this one, I thought he was going to try and climb the tree. I'm going to maneuver a little bit, try and get a better view on these guys. They're moving, and if they pick up pace, which they might do because I see the matriarch is, it would be great if they're heading to the water. Well, we're just moving a little bit. The elephant started moving, and I think there might be some good news in it for us. They were sort of just milling about when we found them, eating a bit here and there. But one of the large females has sort of picked up her pace a little bit. And what I'm hoping happens is that they head down towards the waterhole. Now, the ellies we started with had a drink, but these ones haven't yet. So we're going to stay with them. Hopefully they head to the water, but you're going to go back to HD and enjoy that beautiful cat with them. We'll see you back here again in a bit.
Well, he's just become a little bit more active, folks. It was too hot for him down there. And have a look at this. This is what leopards do best. absolutely beautiful. It's just gone right up this tree. Beautiful. Look at this, look at this. Oh my goodness. How beautiful is that? I don't know, we've got a bit of a... See if I can get you into a better shot there, mate. I'm just going to move around here, folks. Just a little bit of negotiation through this bit of vegetation. I might go a little bit closer for you, VM. Tell me what you can see. It looks a little bit black there, but once we zoom on in, folks, we'll get a bit better. It's just that, trying to get a better picture for you. It's just a bit of negotiation here. Let me just wiggle this around a little bit. I'll just reposition everyone. Bear with me. He's absolutely relaxed. He's just gone up that tree. Now, folks, I was just, when we came back from the crossover from Pete, I was just about to ask you all and say, guys, if you recognise any other markings on him, can you please tweet in? And you've already gone for it, which is fantastic, because you help us so much with your knowledge. So many of you know these animals already, and if you don't, you do now. This is Q. And thank you everyone that's tweeted in. Absolutely superb identification, so well done. Have a look at that, V. I'm not sure how good that is for you, mate. The sunlight is behind the tree. It's starring a little bit there for you. Might be a little bit tricky for you. Yeah, it's a bit black, isn't it? It's just that if I go the other side of the tree, he might end up getting... Okay, let me just move forward a bit and then we're good to go. There you go, VM. How's that, mate? Okay, a bit more. No. I'm just trying to negotiate this, folks, because with the sun right on us and it's flaring. So I don't want it to flare in the lens for you, and I want to get you the nicest picture I can. It's a bit tricky one. See what that looks like for you, V. There's a bit of a stick across his throat in the sunshine, isn't it? Well, right in the lens there. Just for the minute, let's just sit with that. We had to try and drop it down a bit, but yeah, a bit tricky. The sun's not fantastic for us, folks, and I really want to make this as nice a possible shot as I can. So bear with me. This is what it's all about. These animals are completely relaxed. I'm going to have to go right around the other side of the termite mound, so just bear with me, folks. I don't want to drive underneath him. Really important. That's not a nice thing to do for him or for us, for that matter. And just a respectful thing to give him space. It's not a comfortable thing that animals find. So we go right around this termite mound, and I'll just get you a better shot. And this is the great thing about these vehicles, as I said, you can just maneuver around. And let's find him from this side. And this might be better, VM. How's that for you, mate? Is that better?
Yep.
Happy?
I'm happy.
We all happy? Is everyone happy out there? Let me know if you're happy, folks. If you're happy and you know it, send a tweet. Let us know if you're happy with that, because this is absolutely incredible. Now that animal there is the first leopard that I saw in this reserve, and he is the epitome of stealth and strength and beauty and I suppose if I want to use a slang term, this the epitome of cool. He is just the most beautiful creature, this animal. He is the we know a fair bit about the leopards on this reserve, and Peter has actually had a lot of experience with these leopards, knows them very, very well. and he'll be able to share more information with me, always about Q. There's always a story about him, but we've spent the last few days watching him. He's been up and down. He's had a fantastic kudu kill the other day, a very successful hunt on an animal that was about 3 times his size. Oh my goodness, how nice is this? You could not plan this. And look at those markings. Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful markings that give him the ability to stealthily stalk through the vegetation. We've got a tweet from John. Welcome, John, and thanks for joining us, mate. It's really fantastic and great question. Are leopards solitary? And yep, they are solitary, shy creatures. Well, this one doesn't seem too shy, does he? He's quite okay with just hanging up there and letting us be right close to him, but they're generally quite shy, stealthy creatures. They're solitary. They come together when it's breeding situations that occur or encounters. They may come across each other, overlapping. Several males may overlap a female's territory, so they could come in contact then. We have seen some quite unusual sibling encounters where 2 of the animals might have been up to about 2 years old, and I'm pretty sure Q is about 2.5 years old. Peter knows the birth date within probably 10 days. He was here at that time when he was born, and it's pretty much so that they would overlap territories when they're adults. But this is quite an unusual situation we're here on Djuma at the moment, with him and his brother overlapping his mum's territory still, with another individual, Shadow, and her cub coming into they're home ranges sort of thing rather than territories. So home ranges is probably a better term. So yes, they do come in contact with each other, John. Not very often, mainly solitary and only coming together when they're really having a breeding encounter normally. Thanks so much for your question, mate. Tanya, lovely question from you, and welcome aboard. If it's your first time, great. If you're a regular member of the safari, welcome back. Is this a rare sighting? Well, this is a rare sighting to have this early in the drive, and normally we find them a lot later when they're active, and if it wasn't for Steph and Scott, we could have driven right past him, hidden there, and you know, it's the beauty of having a walking trail and a professional guides like Steph and Scott on the ground, and that's one of our keys to success for this. So this is their sighting, and I really want to congratulate them for an incredible job. So this sighting's for them. So it is rare to the point that this time of the day, but boy, we are really lucky to be here with him. So I'd say yes, it's rare. And we got him right on the tree above us. How fun is this? How good is this? I love my job. Let's just have a little look at these beautiful markings for a minute. I'm just going to let VM just go down and along this beautiful, beautiful coat and have a look at the definition and the change in the markings, and how some are spots and some are rosettes. Some are those really short but muscular limbs. Very different from a cheetah or a lion. And those incredible claws, which are retracted at the moment into sheaths. What a cat. Kim, thanks for your question. Lovely to have you on board. And you'd like to know what the history of Q is. Well, he is the son of Karula, and Karula is a very, very famous leopard in this area. She's she's called the Queen of Djuma, and it's her fourth litter he came from. He does have a brother, Djuma, and they do come in contact now and again with each other, but they're not really establishing themselves at the moment. It can happen soon or later. It might be just a slow developing thing with these two cats. But his father is a cat called Mvula, and he is my favourite cat. He is just an incredible cat. He's super cool, super relaxed, and funnily enough, this is a bit of a celebration for VM and I, because this is the first cat that VM on camera and I saw together back in November last year, and well done, mate. Top work. Sorry, I'm just shaking hands with VM folks because this is a real special moment. Special moment for us and a special moment to share with you on Safari Live. So here we are under this tree with a beautiful, beautiful big cat. It's a leopard, and thanks to the guys Scott and Steph on foot brought us in to this incredible sighting. And for our sunset safari here, this is quite a special occasion. What I'm going to do is going to just roll down a little bit and see if we can shoot backwards. I see a little fork in the tree there that I might see his face in, and he's completely relaxed. You see when we're on him there, he doesn't even lift his head when we start the engine. It's alright, my boy. Okay, my boy. Might just give us an option to see this beautiful face by shooting up there at him. Okay, buddy. How's that angle for you, VM? Good. Just let me move forward a little tiny bit. Sorry about the bump there. That's lovely, isn't it? He's going to put his face on around the other side. He's so relaxed. So we've got a question from Rick in Memphis. Rick, welcome aboard. Fantastic to have you with us. Your question is, do they ever come in contact with other predators? And the answer to that is yes, hugely. A host of other predators. And I think that you may have a lot. Well, he hasn't done much. He got up and went up the tree when we were on the other side there, and he's still up in this tree, and the reason why he's elevated himself is just to keep cool. As I said, it was about 28 degrees Celsius centigrade and about 78 Fahrenheit. Now that might not seem hot to many of you, but to a big cat that's quite a temperature, and I actually feel like it's a bit hotter than that now. Now, I just heard elephant not far from here, and I'm not sure if they were vocalising, and it's the herd that I think we might be going across to, but I'm going to cross over to Pete because I think he's got a little surprise for you. Great stuff. All right, we'll see you just now.
Well guys, welcome back this side, and how amazing to be sitting with that leopard. Such a beautiful animal, and we've been staying with these elephants now. Ellies really are one of my favorite animals in the whole world. Very intelligent, very sensitive, very aware, very big. And if I was to come on safari here with a couple of friends, my family, the two things I would hope most to see would be probably leopard and elephant. So I'm very, very happy that you've already seen both of those in your game drive this afternoon. And what a beautiful leopard as well. Q is a stunning male. Beautiful male leopard. Now this herd is, I think they've come in from the north. We saw them briefly this morning on the drive. Part of this herd. It's quite a lot of them. You can't see all of them now. In fact, most of them are further into the thick bush. I'm guessing 30-40 elephants total. But this morning also I saw from their behavior that they were maybe a little bit, how shall I say, unused to seeing vehicles for a while now. Further to the north it gets much less roads and less activity. I'm going to switch off the radio quickly. And it takes the Ellies normally a day or two, three, just to get used to seeing vehicles again if they're coming out of one of the areas where there's not much movement. So we've just been spending a little bit of time getting them used to us as well. I'm going to do the same again now while we're speaking. Basically just reassuring them that we're not here to bother them, we're just having a look, moving around. And then as they relax more and more, especially the youngsters will often become a bit curious about us as well. Go around to the side. There's a beautiful bird here following the elephants around as well. Now this bird is called a starling. We'll try and show you. But you get many different birds that will follow animals around, often big animals like this, because as these elephants are walking around, they're disturbing little things, insects, different grasshoppers and butterflies and spiders and little insects, all kinds of little animals basically that will jump up or fly up or run away, and then the birds can grab them. She's busy chewing on a marula branch there, eating the bark. Hello Lynn, while we're looking at this young, what is this? Looks like a young bull busy eating that branch. He's got decent tusks already, even though he's not very old. Lynn, you're wondering at what age do the elephant's tusks start to show? Now firstly, it's quite interesting. Elephants get milk tusks, the same as little kids. My boy at home is about 7 months old now, and his teeth are just coming along, just about to come through. And as all human teeth, they will fall out a while later, and then he'll get his permanent set after that. The same with Ellies. They get their milk tusks normally between sort of 6-7 months to between the ages of 7 months, 8 months. You can start seeing the first little bits. On average, let's call it closer to a year, probably you'll see it. And then they lose those, and then they get their sort of permanent set again around 3 years, 2.5, 3 years old. Normally you start seeing the permanent tusk. And then they grow, and in the case of elephant, those tusks actually grow for the rest of their lives. And in fact, especially with the bulls, the tusks actually start growing a bit faster when they get older. In their mid-30s, when they're going into their prime or into their peak, the tusks actually start growing a bit faster as well. So those really big tusks you see, those would normally be old elephant. The other thing with tusks is it also, there's a few things that play a role in the size of tusks. Oh, beautiful. Late afternoon light starting to develop now. Elephant's nice and relaxed. You can see the tail is just dangling. I was going to say other factors that influence the size of tusks apart from age would be genetics. Some elephants have got bigger tusks than others. And also the habitat. What kind of food are they eating? How hard are those tusks working? You know, are they digging with them a lot? Are they breaking dead branches a lot and stripping bark from trees? And then to an extent also the kind of food they're having, but more importantly the water they're drinking. How much calcium is in the water, you know, how the quality of the water, and that can have an influence in the strength of the tusks as well. As these ellies are still moving through some very thick bush, we're going to stay with them. I'm hoping what they're going to do is that they're going to head through towards Gari Waterhole, close to where our camp is and where everything's going on. There's a nice, well not a nice, a beautiful waterhole. And I'm hoping that we're going to stay with these elephants and get to them when they're drinking there. I'm going to show you this branch there. You can see very easily Ellie's literally just pushed this over. Just want to have a quick look there. I want to see if I can't get a little piece of bark from that. Not too good. Sometimes when they've broken the branch over or the tree over, you can get into that soft bark, what you call the cambium layer. And you can get those pieces of bark. You can make wonderful rope from it. I would have liked to have showed you. I was talking to Stefan the other day about it. But to get nice long pieces, the best place to do it is actually after elephants have snapped the branches, and you can get those long strings. We're going to have to just go around. They've gone into the thick stuff, and we're going to have to go around and up to them again. So, we will keep up with them, but we might have to sort of go around the thickets every now and again. Stuff that they can go through, we can't necessarily go through always. Making my way back to the road, which should be just up ahead. Always a challenge to try and predict animal movement. Either when you're following them, like when Stefan and them were tracking that leopard earlier, you're tracking physical tracks, but you're also trying to predict, to preempt where it's going so that you can find it, hopefully. Same with these ellies. I mean, I know they're going to drink. I'm hoping they're going to drink sort of in the next 20 minutes. That would be great because the light is going to be beautiful. Nice round Gari Waterhole. But I mean, it might take them another 10 minutes to get there. It might take them another hour. And they're going into some really thick stuff now. In fact, I'm not even sure if we're going to get into them. Let's see, maybe there's a few of them further ahead already. Otherwise, what we might do is just go for a little drive around, you know, look around. Maybe there's some other things we can find in the meantime, and then just come back here every so often and check how far they are. But I would love to be down at the waterhole with this herd when they do go for their drink. Okay, let's see. A little ways in. Whee!